While taking pictures of a water leak outside his house, this man had no idea what he had captured. When he reviewed the images later, he saw it. A faint figure of a woman appeared in the window's reflection. He was alone at the time, which made the sight even eerier. Some claim it's a ghost, while others believe it's just an optical illusion or reflection. A couple was enjoying their weekend at the cabin when strange things started happening at night. At one point, they recorded this video.
I was just downstairs. Like stuff on the table is like moving by itself. Just like shit on the table is like moving by itself. I don't know. Just like that white book and stuff was like moving.
Commenters were quick to dismiss the footage, claiming it was most likely staged, though no one could figure out how they managed to pull it off. The couple spent the night in fear, probably not eager to return anytime soon. TikTok user The Most Mandy was shaken after reviewing security footage from her remote cabin in the woods. The video showed a woman in white, speaking in an eerie voice, asking to be let in. Living deep in the forest with few neighbors, the TikToker was baffled. Who would be wandering out there in the middle of the night, dressed like that, asking to be let in? After that, she never saw the woman again. Reddit user Danny T shared a chilling encounter from a remote log cabin miles away from the nearest house. The image captured what appeared to be a floating head at the door. While some speculated it was a trick of the light or a cutout taped to the window, Danny T insisted on its authenticity. He explained that the photo was taken during a casual guy's weekend, and no one in the group staged such a hoax. But if it wasn't a prank, who or what was staring into their cabin that night? No one recognized the figure, and the cabin's isolation made the idea of a stranger lurking outside even more disturbing. One snowy morning at 5 a.m., this woman stepped out to feed the cats when she noticed something unusual.
Okay, I'm not going out there. Do you see this? They start over there. And it like barefoot walks up to the table. There's nothing coming up to the... Maybe there is some coming up to the door. What? And I don't see any in the yard. What is this? That is absolutely a bare human footprint in the snow.
She reported it to the police, but without signs of a break-in, there wasn't much they could do. A few nights later, the footprints appeared again, following the same strange path. Do you think it's a prank, or is someone stalking her? Urban explorer Tony was traveling through Sweden when he stumbled upon an old, abandoned house deep in the woods and decided to investigate.
Hey? Hey. Is somebody in here? Do you speak English? Jag talar inte svenska. Oh mein Gott. Sorry? Oh mein Gott, das ist mir überhaupt nicht, Alter.
As he cautiously moved through the creaky rooms, something terrifying happened. His thermal imaging camera picked up a figure silently staring back at him from one of the bedrooms. Shocked, Toby bolted out of the house. Later, when he uploaded his video, viewers pointed out that the figure had been watching him even before he entered the house. Turns out, the house wasn't as abandoned as it seemed. A cabin owner was shocked when she reviewed her security camera footage one day. A bear had casually broken into the cabin, knocking the door down like it was nothing. Once inside, the bear glanced around, probably realizing the cabin only stocked low-fat snacks. It eventually turned around and left without causing any damage. But imagine if the homeowner had been lounging on that couch that day. A man was relaxing alone in his remote mountain cabin when he heard footsteps echo across his front balcony, leading straight to his door. When he went to check, he saw this: a haunting face staring in. What exactly it was never shared, but what would you have done? While reviewing the footage from his trail camera near his cabin, this man came across a creepy image. The image captured the forest in sharp detail, but in the bottom right corner, a blurry figure appeared. At first, it seemed like an ordinary passerby, but his trail cameras take photos in bursts, yet this figure appeared in only one frame. The next image was even more bizarre. The man was gone, replaced by a glowing shape. No other photos in the burst contained this eerie presence. Just two images, standing out from the rest. While warming up the hot tub, the man suddenly saw this. An old man lurking through the bushes, watching them as they prepared to enter the hot tub. The peeper's nonchalant reaction, saying, "Bit rude, yeah?" when caught, left many disturbed. But instead of leaving, he just stood there, as if the encounter didn't faze him at all.
Bit rude though, innit? Do you want me to get my cock out? Do you want me to get my willy out? Bit weird, isn't it, mate? You know, a bit of privacy here, pal. No, you're filming private land though, aren't you?
The group was left stunned. Who was this man, and why was he watching them in the first place? While camping with friends in the woods behind a friend's house, this man had the scare of his life. As he collected wood for the campfire in the dark forest, he started to feel like he was being watched. Then suddenly, he noticed it. A face peeking from behind a tree. The sight froze him with fear, and he immediately ran back to the group. Armed with flashlights, they returned to investigate, only to discover it was a weathered styrofoam head mounted on a stick covered in moss. However, the relief was short-lived when the homeowner admitted he had no idea who placed it there and was visibly shaken, recalling how he and his mom had been stalked months earlier. He was convinced this was done by the same person. This CCTV footage from a cabin in the woods captured a burglar attempting to break into a parked car. Using a flashlight, he scanned the windows for valuables and tried to lock the doors. But before he could go any further, something spooked him, causing him to bolt from the scene. The homeowner discovered the break-in attempt the next day while reviewing his security footage. He reported the incident to the police, hoping the culprit would be caught soon. This TikTok user was alone in her Airbnb in the Appalachians when things took a terrifying turn. While visiting the bathroom, this happened. She claims no one else was there, and she was certain that wasn't her sister. Some suggested it could be a mimic. So who, or what, did this woman capture on film that day? While staying in their home deep in the woods, this family had a terrifying experience. A man appeared on their porch at 1 a.m., screaming that they were burning him, chasing him, and that he was bleeding. Living so far out in the woods, the unexpected knocking sent shivers down their spine. At first, it seemed like a desperate cry for help, but things took a disturbing turn when the man tried to force his way into the house. The father, armed, opened the door, and the man began begging them not to kill him. After a tense moment, the father got the man into the car to drive him home. They had long suspected someone was living in the abandoned house next door, and it turned out the man was the same person who had been hanging around there. The family was left shaken and uneasy by the bizarre and terrifying encounter. YouTubers What's Not to Hike and Adventure Outdoors set out on a simple hiking trip, unaware they'd stumble into something truly unsettling. The two friends, both self-proclaimed skeptics, arrived at the remote White Lagan Bothy. As they settled in, the night quickly took a terrifying turn.
So this is popular, quite a popular bothy by the looks of it. Someone actually stayed last night. It was nice and tidy when we came in. So plaudits to whoever stayed here last night. Well done. Absolutely spotless. Whoa. Hold on a minute. Whoa. 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 I'm out. Whoa. I'm out of here. No. No.
That was totally weird. The door just started to move on its own, and then it just pretty much slammed shut. I mean, Marty's out there.
I don't really want to come back in.
He's in bits. That was just the weirdest thing, wasn't it?
Minutes later, things escalated when a chair across the room began sliding by itself.
The spooky door closing over there, and we're trying to like rationalise it. I mean, I don't particularly believe in ghosts, and neither does Martin.
No.
So we're kind of thinking that it might have been just like the like the backdraft of the wind. I mean, there's a storm going on outside, so
yeah. But I still don't believe it was the wind, but it's the only when the wind's blowing that strong outside, and there's no it's the only rational explanation, even though I'm not even looking at that. No, I'm not looking at it. It's moving, right? So, I'm honest, I don't know where to go. I don't know where to go.
this can't be right.
I don't.
I'm not.
It's black in here as well. I can't see a thing.
So there's a chair over there, and it just started. It just started to move, which is.
No way. I'm not even. No.
This is bonkers.
I'm not having any part of this.
That is moving.
Jesus Christ.
It is moving. That chair is moving.
Just leave it. Come out.
Oh, Christ.
Despite their fear, they managed to make it through the night. These YouTubers had never shared any paranormal encounters before, making the footage feel even more authentic. As a woman was cleaning her cabin bedroom, she suddenly heard someone screaming for help. When she looked outside, she saw something unsettling. Strange things had happened in the forest before, so her first thought was that it could be a trap or something sinister. But she couldn't ignore an elderly woman in distress. Despite her unease, she ran outside.
Sweetheart. Hello? Sweetheart. Hello? Sweetheart. Sweetheart. It's okay. Are you lost?
Yeah.
Come on. You okay? Can you walk? Do you want me to call the cops?
Please.
Okay.
It turned out the woman, likely struggling with dementia, had gotten lost in the woods and panicked. Fortunately, the cabin owner had chosen to help and got the woman home safely. This man arrived at his cabin for the weekend only to find this: the door hacked open. The jagged hole immediately raised unsettling questions. Was it a break-in, or was someone looking for him? Unfortunately, no further updates were shared. Would you still stay for the weekend? A YouTuber ventured deep into the forest to explore an abandoned structure.
Now, this is a shooting gallery, guys. It's a shooting gallery, which means, guess what, guys? It could be haunted. Oh wait, no. We're gonna go inside of there. We're gonna explore it. Although we already did it, but we want to know if the inside is haunted or not. That's the main goal here.
Once a shooting gallery, it was now riddled with bullet holes and shattered windows, a haunting reminder of its long abandonment. As they stepped inside, they noticed fresh footprints, signs that someone had been there recently. But the real terror came when they stepped back outside.
Let me know what this... Oh. Somebody... Somebody in a white hazmat suit. White hazmat suit on that guy's property. Holy cow.
And then they saw him again.
Oh, cool. Dude. Somebody broke the window out of this. There's no way. There's no way of getting in there. Somebody's been shooting up the place. Oh, right there. I just seen him. I'm scared too. He's right there.
Oh, yeah.
What is he doing?
You sure that's not a woman in a coat like that?
No, that's a hazmat suit. I zoomed up on her.
You see him turn around?
No.
Had something on him?
What's locked up in his cages?
Unsure of what was going on, the group decided to cut their investigation short and leave. This couple had a terrifying experience while staying in a cabin deep in the woods. One night, she felt as if she were being watched from a corner of the bedroom while lying in bed. A week later, her boyfriend had a terrifying experience of his own. He was jolted awake by strange noises in the dead of night and spotted white glowing eyes staring from the exact same corner. Gripped by fear, he quickly grabbed his smartphone and snapped a photo of the eerie sight. What could be going on in this cabin? While exploring an old barn in West Yorkshire, England, a woman filmed a video to send to her partner. When she watched it back, she noticed something unusual. In the window to the left of a carriage, a shadow briefly blocked the light. With no one else on site, she believed it could only have been a spirit passing by. If anyone had been around, she would have noticed or heard something. A man experienced strange sightings in the Midwest and captured these images. A mysterious figure can be seen in the photos. He mentioned that the figure moved at incredible speed, far beyond what any person could do, and appeared in the same spot before vanishing when approached. In a recent update, he shared more. The creature reportedly reappeared moments later but vanished again before it could be recorded. Was it just an animal creating these sounds? If so, that doesn't explain who or what he captured in the photos. While reviewing the trail cam footage from his cabin in the woods 3 years ago, the owner was horrified to see this. A humanoid figure in white walking along a trail in the dead of night. Its flowing cloth and distorted face gave it an unsettling, otherworldly appearance. Some believe it could be a spirit or cryptid, while others suggest it might be a person wearing a bunny-like suit. Unfortunately, there are no other pictures from that night, leaving the true identity of the figure a mystery. In a cabin deep in the woods, a police officer was sent to investigate a potential intruder. The homeowner, who had noticed her Airbnb door wide open late at night, immediately called the police, fearing a break-in. When the officer arrived, he saw something moving inside, but it wasn't a person. A creepy mannequin appeared to be moving on its own. When he checked inside, no one was there. Something paranormal was surely at play. Back in August 2005, a group of amateur ghost hunters captured something eerie while exploring an abandoned house in the woods. While filming, a sudden figure appeared inside, causing them to bolt in fear. Video editing wasn't as common back then, adding credibility to the footage's authenticity. Still, it could just have been a person, right? Not necessarily a ghost. This family lives in a quiet rural area surrounded by buffalo and cattle, so they always accompany their pets outside. One night, the daughter stood just 6 feet from the steps, hands on the door, watching the dog, but saw nothing unusual. Weeks later, while reviewing their security footage, Tammy noticed a second figure in the frame, something her daughter hadn't seen in real time. Was it just a camera glitch, or is something else going on here? Two men were exploring an old cabin, live streaming as they told the story behind it, when something suddenly appeared behind them.
Sí. Ey. Por favor. Aquí.
They decided to follow it inside, but when they checked, there was nothing there. So they moved onto the second floor, but it quickly became clear they weren't alone.
Hola. Cuidado. Está.
As they tried to figure out where the sounds were coming from, they asked the spirit to show itself, and it did.
Algún espíritu o alma demonio que se encuentra en este lugar, manifiéstate.
But they didn't notice it until they read the comments on the livestream. At one point later in the video, one of the men starts feeling unlike himself, suddenly talking about feeling guilty for no reason. And then...
¿Te gustaría liberar? Pero te gustaría... Okay.
Something or someone got really close to him. Feeling increasingly uneasy, they decided to leave. A couple stumbled upon an old abandoned home in the middle of the forest and decided to take a look around. While filming, they noticed an eerie figure through the window. Thankfully, it turned out to be just a doll. But they couldn't shake the thought. Had someone left it there as a joke, or had it been sitting there for years, facing the window? The unsettling sight left them feeling uneasy about the place. During a last-minute road trip with her mom, she found herself in the worst place she had ever stayed. What was meant to be a fun getaway turned into a nightmare when they arrived at night and struggled to find the cabin, relying only on vague instructions.
I was on a road trip with my mom. It was super last minute and we did not make any sleeping reservations for the entire trip. We were just doing it like night by night. But there was one night where everywhere was so booked up. Even the Motel 6 was $350. So we ended up using this app called HipCamp. It's kind of like Airbnb, but it's for camping. People can rent out like space on their farm or on their property and you can set up camp. But sometimes they have like cabins or glamping. So we find this hip camp. It was kind of nearby. It had 100% good reviews. There were only like 10 reviews though. It was basically on an old horse camp, like a summer sleepaway camp. So I guess the camp wasn't going on anymore, but they were renting out the bunks, like the cabins for people to stay in. I've gone to summer camp many years. My mom's worked at a summer camp. We thought it would be fun. So we book it. Now after booking it, my mom was kind of messaging back and forth with the host. The host said like, oh, well, there's a lot of different mattresses. You'll have to test which one you like. My mom said, are there clean sheets on it? And she said, I'll put one on. The only instructions we got were that it was like behind the house next to like a red dumpster. We get there at like 10 o'clock. It was pitch black. We could not see anything and we couldn't figure out like where we were supposed to go. There was a big house and then a driveway and it just went into the woods, like pitch black, literally in the woods.
Eventually, they located the place.
I keep walking and then I see two bunks. Look at that fucking red glow. Look at the red glow. That's real. That's where we're supposed to sleep.
Oh, this is so fucking creepy. Absolutely not.
Do you see the cabin?
Absolutely fuck. So you can take us up to the room? Oh god.
Oh yeah, we heard a guy screaming like in the woods too.
Yeah. No. Ew, it smells like piss. Look at the dust. You know what? What is that? Ew! What?
The fact that this is real.
It's so disgusting and scary.
Look at the dirt.
The place was so unsettling, they ended up sleeping in the car. The next morning, she took some videos of the other cabin. Then they received this text.
By the way, I think this was the bunk we were supposed to sleep in, because there was a red clean sheet on the top mattress of the pile of like 10 mattresses. See that clean sheet on top? On the mold? Look at this. Decaying blanket. The smell, guys. I can't tell you. Moldy, smelly couch. So in the morning, we get a text from the woman that's like, so here's how you're gonna get to the site. Why did she not text us the night that we were staying there? Like, we already figured it out. My mom was pissed, so we go to drive. There's like a house where the host lives on like the horse camp. We drive down to the house and stop because she wanted to go talk to the host. There's a little boy that is sitting on the porch playing with a toy. Creepy, creepy. And he's like, playing with a toy. He just looks at us and we look at him. And I said, excuse me, is your mom so-and-so? Like Jane. And he's like, no, I was Betty. And I was like, oh, well, is Jane home? And he's like, yeah, she's home. I'll go get her. So he runs inside, comes out about a minute later and says, she's not home. Really? Really? You just said she was. But what are we gonna do? It's a little boy. So we said, okay, and we left. I left the longest review on this place. Like, no pictures, no reviews show, like, the pile of, like, pubic hair. Like, what? Like, the mold, the filth, like, what? Next night, we stayed in a place that actually had a clean shower, and I cried tears of joy. If you're in upstate New York, do not stay at that horse camp. Don't do it.
Horrified by the experience, they vowed to always book a stay in advance from then on. Reddit user Native Marikai lives deep in the woods. One night, her game camera captured this eerie image. A ghostly woman can be seen in the tall grass. She appeared completely translucent, dressed in a long gown. The user revealed the property's former owner had their ashes scattered there, and long before that, the land belonged to Native American tribes. Was this the spirit of the past homeowner, or someone who walked these lands centuries ago? Whatever the answer, the figure remains an unsettling mystery. A biker set out to explore an abandoned mansion deep in the hills, all alone. Upon arrival, he noticed a freshly made opening, suggesting someone had recently removed the panels.
Dude, this is fucking terrifying. Oh my god, look at the size of this bedroom. This is a bedroom, dude. Dude, this is fucking scary. I need to make sure no one's in here. Like in those bedrooms. Oh my god. Dude. Dude, this is how horror movies start. Oh my god, it's so dark in these rooms.
Stepping inside, he was met with a massive, once luxurious interior. As he wandered further, the tension began to build. Suddenly, something moved in the darkness.
Dude, that dark room. I kept feeling something was gonna jump out at me. What's down here? Hello? Hello? Sleep, goat, horse, dog, pig, snake. Fuck a sheep, goat, horse, dog, pig, snake, bird, hermaphrodite. Oh man, this is fucking... Dude, I think I hear somebody. I think I hear something.
Sending him fleeing without a second glance. This image was taken by a 72-year-old woman from Missouri who'd been claiming to see a little girl in her forest home. In the photo, a ghostly figure can be seen faintly standing in the frame. No one believed her until she took this image, proving she wasn't imagining things. So, did this woman truly capture the ghost of a little girl in her home? While exploring Norway's wilderness, YouTube channel Magnus Respier shared countless nature videos. But in one of them, he and his friend stumbled upon a small, isolated house deep in the woods by the Atlantic. The house seemed ordinary from the outside, but inside, something chilling was captured on camera. Ah! A creepy face appeared, silently watching them. The figure didn't react, only stared, as if waiting for something. He left immediately, never knowing who or what it was. A man woke up in the middle of the night to terrifying sounds echoing outside his remote cabin deep in the woods. Grabbing his camera, he captured this. Frozen in fear, he struggled to decide whether to run or search for the source of the screams. Something seemed to be lurking just beyond sight. What he filmed that night remains a mystery to this day, though he hasn't heard the sounds again. Two urban explorers from Russia stumbled upon something chilling while investigating an old abandoned home. In one of the rooms, they spotted this. It seemed to be something humanoid, but not quite human. The brief glimpse was enough to send them running, their panic caught on camera. Many viewers speculated it could be the infamous creature known as the Rake, while others dismissed it as a hoax or a disturbed squatter. Creepy, either way. This man was waiting for his DoorDash delivery when he heard a knock at the door. But when he looked outside, there was no food. Just this. Come on. A dark figure stood by a tree, watching from afar. Motionless, it loomed as if ready to attack. Terrified, he recorded the figure before rushing to hide in the bathroom.
Okay. So currently... I ordered DoorDash because my sister and the kids are gone for tonight. Like, I'm here by myself. The kids had football practice, so they had to go do their own thing. Thank you. So I ordered DoorDash, and I heard it knock. Oh my God, she's still fucking standing.
Eventually it disappeared as he called a friend to pick him up. Steve, an experienced camper, set out for an overnight stay in an abandoned house deep in the woods. After a long hike through eerie, desolate terrain, he arrived at the decaying structure, covered in graffiti. As he explored, he heard footsteps. Then a man appeared.
Okay, somebody's totally coming down the trail. Wonder when they're gonna tear this thing down. Yeah. Yeah, I've just been trying to, I try to film and, you know, take photos of this type of stuff. Yeah. And go camping in these places too.
Steve calmly explained what he was doing, and after a brief exchange, the man left. But Steve wasn't alone for long.
Okay. I gotta check my radar. It looks like there's a bit of a storm rolling in. Adds some excitement here.
As darkness fell, a storm rolled in, and Steve decided to seek shelter inside. Just as he settled in, he noticed this.
Somebody is coming down here. Good thing they didn't crawl in here. I would have really scared them.
A group approached the house but never entered. Unbothered, he cooked a meal and fortunately slept safely through the night. And now, let's watch these next scary forest encounters.